Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ilona, and today's video is going to be about vulnerability. So a really powerful and amazing and soul-connected mentor I have, who is a twin flame reader, that was one of the very first readers, actually was the very first reader that I ever started following and ordered a reading from. So I've been with this particular person for over a year now, and she recently did a video about vulnerability and some confessions about it. And so, of course, being a good student of my mentors, I decided to take the challenge as well and record my own vulnerability confession type video. So hers was very raw and powerful, and one of the really great things about being part of this community and collective is as one of us steps forward and does healing, because we are unity consciousness and all one at the end of the day, we're all from the same source, then any one of our healings has an effect on the entire collective as a whole. So again, I cannot stress this to you guys enough. If you want to change or heal the world, you have to, the only way is to start from within, because everything that you experience on the outside is always a direct reflection of what's going on the inside. You cannot see ugliness in the world unless you first see it in yourself. So that's how you create change in this universe, on this planet, in these physical bodies. So as I was preparing to do this video, I decided to go to the Heal Yourself card deck and pulled a card and said, what do I need to know? What am I going to benefit? How am I going to benefit from this, doing this video? And the card that I got, of course, came out, and it says, take off your masks. And it's card number 11, which is a master number and also an awakening number. And the very first line that says, stop trying to appear different to who you really are. It's time to take off the mask and be the real you. You cannot get the love and attention you are craving by pretending to be someone you are not. Why are you so frightened to be honest with yourself and others? Do you feel that you will lose friends and opportunities by showing others your imperfections, fears, and vulnerabilities? So, yeah, I mean, talk about the essence of vulnerability is wearing a mask, and that's what we do. That's the purpose of, healing, is to take off and to be vulnerable. And, as a collective, one of the programs that we've received is that being vulnerable is weak, that, showing your true self, showing your emotion is weak. And that, of course, is not true. It's actually way more powerful to be vulnerable, because it is the ultimate show of receptivity, of receiving, of awareness. When you're being vulnerable, you're allowing things in. You're allowing the truth, your truth, to be. And it's a beautiful energy. It's the essence of femininity. Honestly, it's the essence of our feminine power. And we are all, whether you're a gender of masculine or feminine, we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. And that's, the yin and yang, the balance. So, we all have the ability to be vulnerable and to be powerful, to be in action and to be in reception. So there's no weakness in either of these energies, but the essence of femininity is in the receptive mode, and that is in being vulnerable. And you know, we are actually in more control because we're staying more in that faith-filled place when we just say, I just trust, I believe, I'm receiving, and I trust. Versus when we're being not vulnerable, we're trying to be in control mode of, nope, that's not right, I'm not going to allow that, this is not good. And we're in that judgment zone. We're in that space of false control, because truly the only thing you have control over is this physical entity right here. So being in that feminine vulnerability, receptive energy is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. So I encourage you to take off the mask and get truthful with yourself. The other purpose for doing this video is, as you close out karmic cycles, it's important to release the energy. And one of the best ways to release the energy is, just to physically release, remove, expel that energy from your physical body. And one of those ways to do that is to speak through the throat chakra, is to speak your truth. So let's go with the confessions. What do I want to say? Okay, so probably my biggest challenge in this lifetime has been financially. I have always been very optimistic. I've been a follower of affirmations and positive things and the law of attraction for a very long time. And I've not really ever had a problem attracting money or abundance into my life. I've never been good at keeping it. And I've created financial messes in my life multiple times. And, big time financial challenges with the IRS and getting my taxes paid and so forth. And as I close out that karmic cycle and know I don't have to repeat that lesson again, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. When the financial crisis hit in 2009, it would have been real easy as a real estate professional to blame the market. And I didn't. I took responsibility. I said, I made that mess. I made tons of money. I didn't save any of it. I made that mess. And so all of that, losing my house and having to start all over financially, destroying my credit, all of those things, I took full responsibility for that. And it felt really good. It felt good to say, I did that. It had nothing to do with the market. Sure, it would have been nice if that whole thing hadn't happened, but you know what? I learned so much from it. And I was never homeless. You have community, you have things available. It was a great learning experience. And so I'm so grateful to have had that and to be done with that lesson, with that karmic cycle. I'm still working on, being a better saver. I'm an excellent manifester. And this is one of the things that you have to find the parts of you that are perceived negative and find a way to love them. And so one of my recent affirmations is, by not having practiced good saving habits in the past, I could be down on myself about that part, or I can say, I always believe in the power of manifesting new. And so while I haven't been good at saving, I am very good at manifesting new. And so I'm finding the love of that part of myself. And instead of focusing on what I don't want, which is I don't want to not be good at saving, okay? Instead of focusing on that, I'm now focusing on the powerful manifester that I am and the abundance attractor, and everything I touch turns to gold and Midas touch. And I'm focusing on that instead of, and embracing that part of myself that I love instead of highlighting the part of myself that's perceived negative. What else can I confess to? Most of you know I had a baby when I was 16 and had a very, very ugly marriage. But again, that taught me how to be resilient, how to be self-sufficient, how to stand up for myself. It showed me really clearly what it is that I don't want in my life. I spent several years really hating men after that experience and believing that, I would never find true love. And now my affirmation is I find love everywhere. I find love everywhere. For a long time I used to say, because I used to believe that I was overbearing and too powerful for men. And of course, that's just an illusion. And I would say men love to have sex with me, but nobody wants to date me. And now I believe I find love everywhere. And, I'm working on clearing out that wounded part of me. And I've done a lot of work on that, but there's still more work to be done because I do find myself in that vibration still here and there. So I'm working on that part. I've struggled with weight in this part of my life. I've struggled with my weight tremendously. I've struggled with alcohol. I've struggled with drinking ever since Charlie got super sick. I have been up and down with my alcohol consumption, and that's something I still need to deal with. I've got to take the mask off about that, and I still really, truly need to deal with that. I've got to get a handle on my diet, and I've struggled with finishing things. I don't finish a lot of things. I start and don't finish, and so I've struggled with that. And I do want to embrace that part of myself and find a positive way to spin that and think about myself on that particular thing. So that's something else. The other main thing, one of the things that I'm passionate about is the right to life. And having had an abortion, I really believe it's a traumatic experience that nobody should go through. I mean, it's not that I'm placing judgment on anyone. I just would really encourage you to look at the alternatives. Obviously we have soul contracts and there's a reason for everything. Nothing happens by accident. But I will tell you, it's a really horrible, downright horrible experience. So, do some real soul searching on that one and get some real counseling and, figure out what really is best for you. But I would definitely not encourage anyone to go down that route. What else can I confess to? I struggle with, okay, in the past, I think I've overcome this. In the past, I've struggled with codependency on people, and really believing that I had to be a certain way in order to be loved. I grew up with a father who didn't congratulate us for doing the things we were supposed to do. You only got congratulated or extra attention for the things above and beyond what you were supposed to do. So I had this perception of needing to earn love, and nobody should have to earn it. You are, by just being born, birthright, you are loved unconditionally by your Creator. And so that has been a big lesson for me too. And so it's been very challenging in my life. I don't often give compliments to people because I wasn't in the habit of doing that, because we didn't get complimented unless we really did something exciting. I was expected to get good grades, and when I did, it was like, hey, great, you're doing what you're supposed to do. But there was one point in time when my brother was acting out in his preteen years, and I completely had a meltdown and just said, I'm tired of being the good kid, because all the attention was going to him. And, you know, of course, my parents were absolutely doing the very best that they can do. And I have really fond memories of my childhood. I don't hold any ill will against my parents about anything. But it was tough at the time when I was needing and craving that attention from my dad, and I didn't get it. And my brother was getting all the attention. And so that's probably why I ended up pregnant at 16, you know, seeking that male attention. So just, you know, working on those kinds of things. And what's cool about this is it's not about placing blame. You know, you got to take responsibility for all of the choices that you made. They were either designed by soul contract, or they were what you needed to experience in order to grow. You know, and for me to be, you know, here doing all of this work with you guys and doing something I'm so in love with and so passionate about, it wouldn't be the same if I hadn't had all of the experiences that I have. And so again, being vulnerable is about looking at who you truly are, and who you truly are is magnificent. But you can't really embrace that magnificence until you look at the parts of you that you are avoiding, or, you know, not recognizing, or are in denial about. And when you can open up to this, in this vulnerability process, to open up to those parts of you and love them anyway, man, that's growth. And it feels good. It feels so much better to say, yeah, I did that, and here's how it benefited me, versus I did that and now I'm not lovable because of those things. That's just, you know. And here's what's interesting. What's interesting is when we find ourselves in those experiences, you know, for example, your parents, generally speaking, if you have bad experience growing up with your parents, you don't necessarily stop loving them. You stop loving yourself. And I'm not saying we should stop loving anybody, but you certainly shouldn't stop loving yourself. These things are all here for you to help you grow. So I hope that this video, I don't know, I mean, who knows how it's going to be received? It really doesn't matter. But I hope that it helps you. It's helping me. So I hope that it helps you as well. And thank you for watching. I send you guys so much love. And I would love to hear your comments about vulnerability. I'd love to hear what your experiences are. And if you feel inclined to do a video, please do so and share. And let's celebrate our feminine power and the vulnerability within all of us, so that we can all learn and benefit and grow from it. And so I'll see you guys again soon. Namaste.